Alrighty, let's get started. My name is Angel Chone, and I am originally from Bulgaria. That's where I had my first activation, my first spiritual awakening. And it was an interesting story because I had a very spontaneous awakening. So it was a bit of a traumatic event. I started perceiving the multi-dimensionality of reality by basically seeing everybody as if they're reading off of a script. So it kind of looked like everyone was talking to me, but they weren't really real, real thoughts, real conversations. It seemed like they were just reading off of a script. And now I recognize that, this is just the reality of how most of us humans are with all the programming that we've been through. We kind of got locked down into these certain set beliefs. So a lot of the times we're acting unconsciously based on our programming and not based on real connection with the soul. A lot of times the soul is absent and is completely, either outside of the body or in a different reality, in a different realm. When that first happened, I thought I was going crazy. I was perceiving reality in a very different way, and it took me some time and meeting the right people, mentors, healers in Bulgaria as well as here to show me that hey, this isn't crazy. You don't have a mental condition. In a lot of shamanic cultures, when you start perceiving reality differently, it's just an awakening experience. It's not something that you should be hiding from. It's not something you should be medicated from. It's a different way of perceiving things, a different way of sensing things, and I feel that we all came here with a very specific mission, and that's to become aware of these abilities that we have, become aware of the multidimensionality of reality and how reality plays out as above, so below. So in the divine realms, in the higher dimensions, things can be very structured, very ordered. We decided on what we're going to do when we come down to Earth, and then along the way we forget, and then we go through the great forgetting by coming into the Earth. And that's actually part of the hijacking of the incarnation grid. So everything that we go through is because of an interference within the Earth's grid by an external source. So there was a group of multidimensional beings that went around and they wanted to play God, so they wanted to outdo the Creator. So that's where a lot of disease, a lot of things with the mind come from, is they were brought onto this planet. They didn't originate here. We're supposed to actually live much longer. We're not even supposed to age. The current aging process of humanity was introduced, and it was a lockdown of our DNA and interference with our chromosomes. Right now we only have 23 pairs of chromosomes, and that's not at all the original divine blueprint. We're supposed to have 12-strand DNA, and right now we're currently, and when I say 12-strand DNA, I mean some of it is multidimensional. So it's not just the two physical strands, it's also DNA strands made of light, which contain memories from past lives, past experiences, our secret hidden abilities, our multidimensional abilities. So what does this have to do with healing? Hey.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna pay and I'll be back.
Okay.
Are you Angel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just getting started. So.
Okay.
Yeah. And so let's I'll wait for her to do the invocation. But the first part of healing is creating a sacred space. So anywhere that we are, we must remember that our body is a temple. So as long as we tune into the heart, as long as we tune into our own energy, we are creating a sacred space. If we tune into the heart center, into you can set the intention to tune into your higher self, for all of your higher self to be present in this reality. And that is already beginning the process of bringing those higher frequencies, bringing your awareness to those higher frequencies, which is what you actually are, and how that's your original form, how you're meant to be, in other words, the original divine blueprint. And it's not just us out here in the universe. There's many different beings, there's many different underground beings, there's beings among us in spirit form, there's beings in the higher dimensions, there's other galactic beings. So we can begin the healing by creating an invocation. And that is a very important step because it clears anything that's already in the room. It clears anything that's already stuck on someone, so that it's not limiting their energy. It's not limiting the collective energy of the healing space. And the invocation can be in infinite forms. So there's so many different beings, there's so many different multidimensional as well as earthly beings. And we would like to invite the ones who are truly benevolent, who truly are of service to others, or in other words, who are of the law of one. So beings who have transcended duality, and they understand that duality was just the creation for this experience, and that's not at all what the totality of reality is. Did you have a question?
No.
And let me know if stop me at any point if you guys have a question. The invocation, it can come in many different forms. I wrote one. Hi.
Is this the Ascension panel over here?
It's right next door.
Okay. What are you doing?
I'm doing an integrative energy healing workshop.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be back.
Okay. Sorry about that. There's many different forms of invocation. There's mantras you can sing, there's chanting, there's prayer, intention setting. The most important step is to say it from the heart and with the strongest intention that you are connecting only to a divine source. Healing is all about intention. So the stronger the intention, the stronger the energy is, the stronger. If you'd like to sign in, that's just so we can update you with a few future information. You came in at the most important part, which is creating the sacred space and reading an invocation. So this will be right here, and we're about to do that as a group, so we can create a clear sacred space and open up a portal to the higher dimensional frequencies so they can cleanse us as we're going through this workshop.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
And the invocation that I have written here, it establishes that there are multiple versions of ourselves, and that there is a highest version, highest frequency version, highest potential version of ourselves. The I am presence, that is the combination of all of our versions of ourselves. So our past, present, and future versions, all into one being. So we're many different things at once, and being aware of that, recognizing the different parts of us, the different versions of ourselves. We can acquire certain skills from other lifetimes, other versions of ourselves. Say you were a Reiki master in a different lifetime, you can tune into that lifetime and you can draw frequency, you can draw energy from that reality and anchor it into this reality. Let's, so if you guys would like to read the invocation together, reading it out loud makes it even more powerful than just mentally reciting it, because the resonance of our voice, as it passes through the body, through the lungs, that creates a vibration in the surrounding environment, so that has a very powerful manifestation effect. And let's begin. We invite the highest version of our I Am presence into this space. We invite the angels, the dragons, the founders, the guardians, the creational consciousness of this holographic reality. We invite our galactic and higher dimensional brothers and sisters of the Law of One. We invite the Ascended Masters and High Divine Councils. Together we create a unity field of consciousness. We cleanse every participant at this expo. We clear the space of this entire conference hall and anyone connected to us in any way throughout time and space. So it is. And just close your eyes. allowing the divine healing energy that is all around you to permeate every cell of your body, removing any pains, any connections to lower frequencies, to any person, being, or reality that limits us, and sending healing throughout time and space. And just take deep breaths through the belly, visualizing a golden light coming in from your crown, going to every place that needs healing, that lacks energy or has a blockage. And visualize that you're surrounded by a violet healing energy. And this violet healing energy is activating you on a DNA level. Removing all imprints from anyone or anything that has interfered with your energy. Visualize now that there is a Merkaba, the two pyramids, one facing up, one facing down, surrounding your entire body. And the quicker the two pyramids are spinning, the clearer your energy field is becoming. With every breath, energizing every cell, every tissue, every organ, is filling up with the golden healing light. Your energy field becoming stronger and stronger with every breath. Beginning a DNA activation up to strand 5, and DNA strand 5 is becoming activated. There's nothing to do, just feel. Activating DNA strand 6. DNA strand 7. Activating DNA strand 8. DNA strand 9. Multi-dimensional DNA strand 10. 11. And 12. Calling for strong 12th dimensional presence here. All of the Christed beings to be present, to continue healing us as we continue learning how to heal ourselves. You may open your eyes. Once we've created this sacred space, we've invoked all the Christed beings, all the Law of One beings, we can more easily focus on the specific things that need to be healed, specific places of the body, specific pains that we have, past life traumas, and we can send healing both in this moment of time and to any past or future moment of time. So we can, there's many different ways to do that. From Reiki, the symbol, it's called Hanshaza Shonin. It's the middle picture on the handout. It's on the lower right corner. That's the Hanshaza Shonin symbol, which means transcending time and space without past, present, or future. As we know, a lot of the traumas, a lot of the things that are happening to us in this lifetime are because of past lives and parallel existences. And there is no past really, it's all happening simultaneously. But in order to play the role of this 3D reality, this 3D holographic reality, we accept on some level that there is linearity and that this moment is followed by the next, But using this symbol, the Hansha, the shonen symbol from Reiki, we can pick and choose a specific moment, a specific frame. It's kind of like a movie strip with all the different frames. And we can choose a specific moment in the future or in the past. And then with the power of our mind, we can bilocate into that space. So we're existing here right now, we're grounded, but a part of us is going to that moment in time and space. The Hansha, the shonen symbol, that's one way to do this. With Reiki, it's very neat, it's very, you have a lot of experience with Reiki, it's very unique that it's all automatic, so there's no, we can just set the intention, set the symbol, and that symbol accesses kind of like a database of information, and all of that information has encoding that will heal us on every level, on the mental, the emotional, and the spiritual plane. It's just about believing, so having a clear energy field, free of any doubts, free of any fears. And those are thought forms, thought models that can be pulled out energetically from a person, from yourself, or from others. And it's interesting how I found out about this and how this is possible. I was actually at a Tao seminar, and this was in Los Angeles, I would say maybe around 2014. And everybody had some time in the crowd. It was maybe about 100 people. Everyone had a couple minutes to introduce themselves and to say a couple of words about themselves. And I would notice, some people, it was in their field, there may have been a little bit of nervousness or anxiety or something like that. So I would envision just pulling that out of them. I'm sitting in a chair, just looking at them speaking, and I would just visualize that I'm going into their energy and I'm pulling out that anxiety, I'm pulling out that fear. And I would notice little changes in their mannerisms, their facial features. And I thought it was, at the time, I thought it was in my head, I had no confirmation. Until somebody came up to me afterwards with a drawing of two stick figures. Bless you.
Thank you.
Two stick figures. One of them was me, and then the other one was her. And a ray of energy going from me to her. And this is somebody that I've never talked to before, never met before. And she could see my energy as I was doing this energy work. And she could see the physical energy going from me to her and doing, pulling out things from her system. And she described the different colors. She described all of the, feelings that she was experiencing. She said it was a very warm feeling. And I was kind of infusing it with divine love. I was also sending that. It's experiences like this that build our faith. And healing, for healing, we need to have very strong faith. That's part of the, the learning process is removing all doubts. Because as soon as there's a fraction of a doubt, you're already opening that door for a lower frequency. You're opening up to the possibility that it won't work or it won't happen, and that already diminishes the effect of the healing. So once we've created the clear space, once we have cleared our energy, we have to learn how to discern where the energy is coming from. And that can be done many different ways. For example, you were giving an example earlier where you were feeling somebody else's pain, and you knew that that was somebody else's pain because it was a sudden onset.
Yes.
And usually when it's like that, there were no prior causes, nothing, just pain coming into the body. One possibility with that is it could be coming in from if there's like a break in the aura.
Yes.
So maybe allowing for outside energies to come in. Of course, another explanation is you're empathic and you're just tuning your consciousness into that person, into their energy field. And even if we are not consciously doing it, our energy could be on in many other people's energy field at the same time, just because our mind sends that intention, like maybe we really look up to somebody, or we love somebody, or we really care for somebody, and it goes in the opposite end of the spectrum. If we judge somebody, dislike somebody, that's already creating an entanglement with that person. So there's already an energetic exchange. Just by the thought, you're already creating that reality of you being connected. So this is why discernment is very important. It's being able to feel your own energy and know if the energy within you is your energy, if it's another person's.
How do I know? Is my energy or the
So the first step is, of course, knowledge of self. So knowing, knowing how you normally feel and being placed in different situations, knowing the range of emotions that you would normally experience. Because as you said earlier, if you feel grief, that's not something you normally feel. It's something that is from somewhere else. So knowing, kind of creating like a baseline of how you feel, journaling, writing things down can definitely help with that, because you want to be aware of, is this, on a daily basis you feel this way, before a presentation you feel a different way, and if there's any change in that, then there could be interference along the way. So of course, knowledge of self. As we develop our healing abilities, as we become more activated, our DNA becomes more activated, our light body becomes more activated. And I'm actually speaking about that later on today at 5 p.m. That's just a lecture, not a workshop, so everyone's welcome to attend. The more we become activated as human beings, as multidimensional beings, and as healers, the more sensitive we become. So you start to be able to trace where the energy is coming from. So you say that you feel pain like around the shoulder area, for example, and you can scan the area energetically, and that's the next step we'll describe how to do that. But you can scan the area, and a lot of times you see a cord or some type of energy pathway that's connected from the shoulder, and it could be connecting to spirit, it could be connecting to another person, it could be connecting to even another reality. So it's just takes practice and experience to be able to discern, is this your energy, and if it's not, what the source of the energy is. And how do we strengthen these abilities? We can meditate, and while you're meditating, being very mindful of every sensation in the body. So again, developing a baseline. If say you're doing a yoga session, you have a baseline of how you feel, what your emotions are, and if there's a change, it could even be a change in temperature, like sudden heat, sudden cold sensations. Could be many different sensations which or abnormal or not what your usual baseline is. Of course, we have to be mindful. It could just be because we didn't eat that day, so that's why we have a headache. We can't assume it's just because of the energy. So we have to be mindful and aware. But meditation and DNA, specifically DNA activations, DNA activating meditations, light language meditations. It's where you speak a different language, a language from the stars, and that language has codes infused into it that awakens multidimensional abilities, that awakens dormant abilities within you. So that's like a summary. So being mindful of our energy, being consciously aware, and constantly working on improving ourselves, on asking the divine for more activations, downloads, upgrades to our light body, and then you can immediately know, like your phone rings without looking at it, you know who's calling you. You can tune into reality on the other side of the world. You can remote view, and there's many, they've used this, the government has used this as well. You can remote view certain areas because everything is connected. Time and space is just a set of coordinates. So it's just a matter of picking a coordinate and then going, a part of you goes there and is able to experience that reality. So we've created the sacred space, we have the mindfulness, have the ability to discern, is this your feeling? Sometimes if you're doing healings on somebody, like you start having a feeling or certain thoughts, or maybe you start missing, say, a loved one, but then if you ask yourself, it makes no sense that you're feeling that way, like where did this sadness come from all of a sudden? And then you realize, okay, maybe this is coming from the other person. So then you ask them, did somebody, are you grieving right now? Did something traumatic happen to somebody that you love? And generally they'll say yes, or they were thinking about somebody or the situation that brought that feeling about. And once we're able to discern which parts of our frequency are our energy or an outside external source, then we begin to scan. And one way to do that is by placing your hands. So say that you can't feel anything. If you can't feel the energy, you can just place your hands on top of somebody's crown, so their crown chakra, and set the intention that your hands be guided to the exact place where they need to go, and just allow, you may start moving from side to side, may start moving down, and just totally removing the conscious control of the process, and just see if you can, if your hand moves to another area, or if something comes to your attention, like if, say, you're doing a healing on somebody and their shoulder twitches, that could mean there's something stuck in the shoulder, some type of energy, trauma. So it's that movement, it's that shaking that can release that energy. Just like clapping your hands, that can move the energy around you. A lot of times, if we've been sitting in one place, we begin to, like restless leg syndrome. You're constantly tapping of the foot. You're moving stagnant, stuck energy. If you have your abilities activated, if you've been working with Reiki for a while, or with any healing modality for a while, you develop a picture in your mind of the person's energy field, And so, just by tuning into somebody with your eyes closed, it can be with open, but it's better with eyes closed because there's less distractions that way. So you can close your eyes, and let's actually do this. Let's practice. Close your eyes and visualize your own energy field. Just remove any ideas, any perceptions of what your energy is like. And just allow the first thing that you see to come in front of your eyes, in front of your third eye. Scanning your energy field, see if you notice a certain color, a predominant color around your body. Now let's tune into somebody that we love. So just visualize somebody that you love and set the intention to tune into their energy field. See if there's a predominant color in their energy. And try to notice a difference now between their energy and your energy. So switching back and forth, going from your loved one's energy field back to yours. Now, ask to be a channel of divine healing energy. And place your left hand on your heart center, and your right hand on your crown chakra, the top of your head. Set a very strong intention that divine healing energy flows through you and that it goes directly to where it's needed. So now see where that energy is going. Try to feel anywhere in the body. You may feel a tingling, change of temperature in that place. You could feel pain. You could feel just a pleasant warming sensation. And now visualize a very strong pillar of white light coming in from above you, from your crown, going down to your third eye, throat, the heart center. energy, when you feel that it's complete, that it's cleansed, that it's beaming with white healing energy, put your hands out in front of you, pointing to the front, as if there's that person that you were scanning, your loved one, as if they're in front of you. And just send this powerful stream of white light to their direction. You can visualize the entire model of their body directly in front of your hands, like a miniature version of them. And you're just sending them love, sending them healing. And you feel that their energy field is fully cleansed. Let's do another scan on that person. So scan now deeper into the many layers of the light body. So just see if you notice anything remaining. It could be a cord. It could be something that's latched into the body and is extending like a string from outside the body. It could be a dark spot. It could be something outside of them. It's a monitoring or tracking device, tracking technology. And if you do see something like that, or if you feel something that is off, just visualize sticking your hand out, your energy hand. Grab whatever negative energy or whatever darkness is in there. Grab it and throw it directly back to source. Just picking up any energy that is not helping them, and just throwing it back to source. Come back to the present. Only if you feel that you've finished and that you've sent the necessary amount of healing. And once you come back, set the intention that your energy comes back to you and their energy goes back to them. Also set the intention that any imprints that their energy has left on you be removed from the body. And this last part is very important to claim back our energy and send back any energy that's not ours, because that can create an entanglement in that flow of energy in between you and them. Say they're having a bad day, but you have that entanglement, and you could pick up some of that energy, whether or not not you're around them. It could be on the other side of the world. If you're very close with somebody and you're entangled in some type of way, energetically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it could be a past life connection. It can draw energy from you. It can affect your present state. So what we do in that case, there's a symbol from Reiki. It's called the Reiku, and it kind of looks like a lightning bolt. So it's just like this, and that is meant to separate your energy from the other person's and ground your energy into your being. So that's the Reiki symbol. Of course, there's many different ways of healing, and that's the beauty of it. You don't need to be using the symbols all the time. You can, with practice, with experience, you can tune into and set very specific intentions, very specific programs on somebody. So say a program for healing, or a program for quitting an addiction, or a program for activating the matrix of perfect health, or removing a negative habit pattern, thought pattern. You can very specifically fine-tune the energies that you send. That just comes with practice, and the more you open up, the more sensitive you become. So you can, the more refined your energy field becomes. So the energy you're sending to somebody is also more refined. You work on deeper levels, different layers of the light body, because it's not just one. We like to think of the aura as just one energy field, but it's actually in different layers. So there's different layers extending to different radius, different diameter outside the body. The first one is well, of course, there's the physical body, and then the one closest to the physical body is the etheric layer. After that, it's the emotional layer, and this is also connected with the chakra system. So the first one, the etheric, that's connected to the root chakra, the emotional, that's connected to the emotional body, or the sacral chakra. The third one is the solar plexus, that's the mental body, or the body of desires, plans, things that you have mentally conceptualized. The fourth layer, that is normally considered the astral. And on the back of the handout has a printout of the different layers. I do feel that picture is that there's more layers outside of that as well, but that's just like a basic overview. So then the astral body, that's connected to the heart chakra. Then there's what's called the etheric template. In other texts, you may see it as the archetypal body. So it's the archetypal energy field or template of manifestation into the 3D. And that as you go upwards, there is the third eye, and that is the celestial body. That is what allows you to see as the unity field, as the interconnected consciousness field, to be able to see and tune into somebody else's energy to remote view. And then there's the causal body. This is basically where the angelic layers of our light body come, and we're all beginning at the 6th dimension. We're an angelic being. So in each one of these different dimensions, there is a corresponding version of us. You hear a lot of people say they're from the Pleiades or Arcturians or Lyrans, and that's all true, but it could be many different ones at the same time, and that's just because we are many different beings multidimensionally. We just have to learn to switch from one to the other and to do it consciously, so that we're not just allowing another version of us to bleed through and say it wasn't the most positive version. You can go crazy that way by allowing things from the outside to affect your current reality. That's one form of meditation you can do that's very useful. Is tuning into each chakra and seeing each chakra as a portal that you can go into, and you can. Let's actually try that. Try that right now. And we're going to talk about the chakra system. There's many different chakras, not just the 7 main ones. But let's close our eyes and tune into your root chakra. Tuning into your root chakra. That is at the base of your spine. Visualize that you're going into your root chakra, like you're entering a portal. See if you get a visual of where your root chakra leads you, where the energy is connected to. Is it connected to the earth? Is it connected to another version of you? Now let's go higher, tuning into the sacral chakra. It is slightly below the navel and the belly button. See where the sacral chakra, the emotional body, is leading you. And observe every emotion that you have right now. Observe how you're feeling, where those emotions are coming from. This is the same concept as tracing the energy from an external source. When we ask where an emotion is coming from, the first thing you see is usually the correct answer. The first thing you see, the first thing you hear, the first thing you feel. We just have to clear the energy space so that our vision is clear, so that there's no limitations. Now let's tune into the solar plexus chakra. Entering the solar plexus, or the third dimension, the field of desires, the mental plane. See where the expression center of your body is leading you. Moving on up to the sixth chakra, the third eye. See if you get an image, a sound, a feeling for that chakra. Finally, the crown chakra, the connection to the divine, to source, where your soul comes in from. But these are just concepts. Just tune into that place right in the center of your head, right above your head, the very tip of your skull. If you like, you can tap on that center. Is one way to focus and activate on the crown chakra, is by tapping. You can do the same with the heart center or any area or part of the body. Just focusing on the crown. Now visualize energy from the crown in the violet color traveling down the spine, down the head, down the spine, and going directly into the heart center. Reestablishing the heart and the brain coherence. The impulse from your soul comes in through the heart center and travels upwards to the brain. It's not the other way around. And this has been proven by science. We receive the impulse of what we're supposed to do, of what the next step is, directly into the heart and not the mind. It can be both, but generally in 80% of the cases that they've studied and measured, it's from the heart upwards to the brain. Now visualize that violet energy extending from the crown down the entire body, down into the earth, the center of the earth, the earth's crystalline core. Now drawing a white light from the center of the earth upwards, seeing it as a pillar of light coming from the center of the earth to the bottoms of our feet, to our whole body. Becoming present moment, feeling the physical body. Notice how it feels denser in the physical body than the other bodies. The higher up in frequency in the chakra system, in the dimensions we go, the less dense things become. So at the highest levels, we're literally just consciousness. We have no weight. The weight of the soul is about 22 grams. They've shown this scientifically at the moment of somebody's passing. They've measured that it's generally a 22 gram, around 22 gram difference in their physical weight. So we actually, as we evolve, we are becoming lighter on all levels. So we're shedding the layers of density, the lower frequencies, the negative thought patterns, the fears, the doubts. Those are very sticky energies, very low frequency energies. And the more we go towards love, joy, happiness, the more light that feels, the more we feel like we've let go, we've released all this, the weight of the world from our shoulders, these responsibilities that we've put on ourselves, we feel are gone and released. And you can visualize, we were talking about this before, but you can visualize pulling those specific frequencies out of the body. So say you have a model of, say it's a phobia, like a fear of snakes. You can, when you're in this meditative space, you've done the invocation, you've invited all the guides, the ascended masters, your higher self, you've ran a white light frequency, cleared your energy field. You can tune into where in the body a certain emotion or thought model is stored. So you can ask, some people are more auditory, so you can ask your higher self, your higher presence, where in the body, lead me to where this pain, this feeling, this emotion is stored. And you may be led to, either through vision, sound, slight tingling, to say like your chest or your leg, your thigh, your arm. So that means that's the point where the energy is stored. So then by doing either physical massage, if it's stored in the physical tissue, you can release that energy. That's what happens when we have knots. It's an accumulation of energy that's stored in a particular muscle group. So then by physically applying pressure, we're releasing those energies. And of course, as we're doing the massage, we're projecting the white light or healing frequency, or the Reiki energy. Prana comes in various different ways, and there's different designations, but the Reiki energy, from what I've seen and what I've been shown, it originates from the 62nd dimension, which, if you think of reality in terms of dimensions, where the physical is the 3D, and then each chakra is another dimension higher. If you get up to chakra 15, which is outside of time and space, then you can you have a more encapsulated view of all of reality, of all the different layers of consciousness. But then imagine beyond that, beyond the collective conscious or unconscious, however you like to see it, beyond this physical reality, beyond this dimensional reality, beyond this universe, what's out there? There's many different universes, there's many different multiverses. So it's an infinite creation, and you can ask when you're doing healings, ask for the highest potential frequency from your highest version of yourself to come through. Because it could be, it could be Arcturian, it could be from an angelic realm, it could be from a foundational realm, from the 13th, 14th, and 15th dimensions. Those higher up dimensions, it's a very powerful, very potent frequency. You can, one way to experience that is if you tune into, we can do this right now, set the intention to connect with the galactic central sun, and just see what you experience. You can close your eyes if it helps you to feel it. Just ask for connection to the galactic central sun. Does anyone have a particular feeling of what that feels like to you?
Yeah, I can feel it. Like
It's kind of an intense frequency.
it's
would
very
you say?
intense. Yeah.
And that was when I first connected with it. It felt like everything that was impure within me was just leaving. So it was almost like a shaky, like the things that are stuck within leaving. So that can happen when the frequency is really high. All the things, the programs, parasites leaving, can you can feel that the intensity of the, imagine the brightest light that you've ever seen, and that is just burning away every bit of darkness, every bit of negativity that's within you. Work with the chakras is the next step of the healing process. So to recap, so far we've done the invocation of the Christed beings, of our higher self, clearing the space. We have discerned, we've cleared our energy and have discerned which energy is coming from us, which energy is coming from the person that we're healing, so that we can more focused and direct energy in a more focused way to their needs, to what they're going through based on that emotion. As we practice discernment, we recognize that's not our feeling, not our pain, and we target that feeling and pain specifically. We have scanned the energy body, the physical and the energy bodies, and seeing if there's any place in particular, in any area of the physical body, or in any area of the energy body, if there's any tracking devices, monitoring devices. Those sometimes can be seen as spheres, like a spherical implant around the head. It could be spinning or hovering. A lot of the watching or monitoring tracking devices it could be in the auric field. Sometimes it's implants in the eyes, like the physical eyeball itself. So that basically, and the purpose for that is the intruders, the beings who create these things and use us for our DNA and for our energy. They can implant, say, into the eyes or the back of the head, skull, around the head. You put an implant inside around the pineal and the pituitary glands inside the brain. So then we get no vision, no true vision, no true source connection, and then our vision can become hijacked. So we're definitely open to other realities, to other healing, other energies, but that can be hijacked to make us perceive reality differently. And that's where there's a saying about if you go towards the truth, you have to go all the way. You can't just reach a certain point and then stop, because that's usually where those interferences come. Yeah.
Okay, these devices that are put in us, they could be like implants into your teeth, like through fillings, right?
Absolutely.
Or in your neck, even through like an artificial disc or something like that.
Yep.
Okay, so how do you negate those?
Very good question. So that is targeted healing. So we go, first using the other techniques, we scan, we find out where the implant is. So say like a disc in between the vertebrae. So once we've established, we've sensed that's where the implant is, that's where the tracking device is, we send deactivation codes. My personal way of doing that is I do the triangle, which is the Arcturian portal opening. So I open a portal through which my Arcturian guides can come in, and they can help with the removal of the implant. So they send through me, or through this portal, they send deactivation, so that implant is no longer transmitting, it's no longer communicating with the beings who are tracking me. And then I normally see like this syringe-like device, this energetic syringe-like device. Once it's been deactivated, there's no transmission. It just sucks out the implant and it goes directly back to source for recyclement. So that's one of many ways. You can set a very strong intention and a directed beam of very high intensity white light or golden light to that area in particular, and that can burn out, just as we did with the connecting with the galactic central sun. That very specific focused energy can burn out the implant, deactivate it, disable it. For more stubborn ones, you can tune into it energetically, see what it's connecting to. You can go into the place where it originated, and you can flush out that entire reality. So say with the Greys implanted you, you can send healing, you can send through that implant, by tracing it, you can send a very high frequency white light to where it originated, and just kind of like blow up that reality, so they're no longer bothering you, they're no longer tracking, monitoring, and that's all done through the light, through a very high frequency, very focused energy. So these are some of the ways. Of course, you can ask the angels, the soul guides, to come in and to help out. Because a lot of, for example, with the DNA activations, this is very advanced work. So it's usually on your soul, the healer's soul, or the guides that are doing the actual activation. Like you on a conscious level, you're just being a channel, a portal, but you're not physically going into the DNA and altering. You can with practice, but at first it's usually that was my way of learning. Was I allowed the guides, my guidance system, the beings that I work with, to work through me and to send healing through me. And a lot of the times my Reiki guides would if I don't know how to do something, they'll say, just watch what we're doing. And they'll go in, say there's an implant, they'll pull it out, they'll cut an energy cord. Um, if there's an astral entity attachment, a being in the astral, there's something anchoring it in, say, like the shoulder, you you can cut that cord, remove it, send it back to source, and send healing energy directly to fill up that space that now there's nothing there, so filling it back up with light. So that's one of the one of the best ways to learn is through your guides, your guidance, and that's a whole that's a whole other workshop. Is I feel that in this room we all are very connected, so we do have, it's easy to communicate with our guides. But for somebody who's never had experience with that, you basically begin to discern. It's also a process of discernment, how to connect with the guides. You discern if you're having a thought, is this thought your thought or is it from somewhere else? It's kind of like talking with ourselves and then distinguishing, okay, that's coming from my mind, my lower self, or this is coming from a higher source, a higher being. And usually how you know if it's an authentic source or if it's coming from a higher benevolent law of one being is by how you feel when you're experiencing that communication. So if you're feeling very uplifted, light, very happy, joyful, loving, it's most likely coming from a good, benevolent, law of one, authentic source. If you're feeling like something's limiting you, it could mean that it's not a good source where the information is coming from. It could mean you have a blockage also or internal limitation that's preventing you from feeling the lightness, from experiencing everything that you can experience. And so this is that's a very good question with the implants. Thank you. That brings me to the more specific work because Reiki, it's a great modality, but most of the courses that are taught, I've seen it's pretty basic. Just laying with hands and then just let the energy flow through and let the energy do the work. We can, by doing that, we can see what the energy is doing, see exactly what it's removing, see exactly whether it's activating our DNA or whether it's our Lyran star beings helping us, so we can more specifically learn what the energy is doing, not just laying of the hands and then praying that it works, but actually going in and specifically pulling out an energy. So it's kind of I feel that in the true original Reiki and the higher levels of Reiki, you do get that specific work as well. So I'm not saying that Reiki is a great modality and it can completely heal you in every way. But a lot of the courses that are out there do just focus on just the basics, and which is a great stepping stone. But we would like to be more specific. Say if there's a knot on your back, knowing that that knot is coming from your brother who's going through a lot, and you're stressing, trying to figure out how to help your brother, but it's being stored in the body in that particular knot, and then allowing the Reiki energy, the divine healing energy, to remove that blockage and release everything that's stored. The chakras, there's 15 main chakras. There's many different, I should say, there's many different models of the chakra system. The traditional is the 7 chakra system. In pranic healing, there's 11 chakras. In other modalities, there's 12 chakras. In the Kathara biospiritual healing system, there's 15 chakras, and that's a very, very interesting and advanced model, the Kathara healing grid, because it includes not just the standard 7 chakras, first through 7th dimension, then it includes the angelic realms, the higher universal consciousness connections. But then it also includes the dimensions 13, 14, and 15, which are outside of time and space. So those are where the founder beings can come through and talk to us. And when I say founder, I mean the founders of this universe, of other universes. So these beings, they have channeled through at times, and they're always, if you call on them, which is part of the invocation. Give you this. This is the invocation that we read in the beginning.
Thank you.
So that's the founder beings, the guardian beings, those are the 13, 14, 15 dimensional beings that we are one with. They are us, but as it is right now, we're in a limited state, a limited form, so we have to communicate with them telepathically and through setting the intention, through remembrance of our avatar, our rishi, ascended master identity. Because at the core, we are a sun. We are literally an ascended master, a sun being that's radiating light. That's one of our aspects, and there's many different ones. And there's many different chakras. That's where the energy comes in from the divine, from the higher dimensions. There are above the 7th chakra, as far as number goes, the 8th chakra is the higher heart center. So that's in the thymus gland right here, and you can tap to begin the activation. So the 8th chakra, that's where the soul monad comes into the body. That's where, once we're born into a physical body, that's where the soul comes in and anchors, is right at that level. The thymus gland, the 8th chakra. The 9th chakra, that's at the center of the brain, and that's the third. It's not just the pituitary and the pineal, but then there's the thalamus and the hypothalamus. That's where the 9th chakra resides, and it's kind of a connection point between it's called the mouth of God. So the creational essence, the eminence of the word of God, that's where it comes in through the 9th chakra. The 10th chakra is galactic chakra, that's slightly above the head. The 11th chakra is even higher than the 10th, and that's also galactic chakra, so all of our universal experiences in other galaxies, that's where we can connect through. The 12th chakra is actually, it doesn't keep going up. The 12th chakra is below the feet, so that's the Earth Star chakra. And that one is very closely connected to the Earth's sentience. That's our connection with the Earth's sentience. And also with our life path. I've noticed from my experience and in doing healings on others, sometimes there's a little bit of darkness right below the feet, and that's the 12th chakra. So the 12th chakra is contains our connection to the Earth's sentience and also is connected to our life path. So if we're straying from, we're indecisive, we can't find our path in this life, there could be some darkness or blockage around the 12th chakra, and that's below the feet. The 13th chakra, that's a universal chakra, and that's centered, it's actually at the center of the earth. The 14th, that one is again above the head. That's a universal consciousness chakra. And the 15th is also universal consciousness chakra. That one is completely outside of time and space. So it's not, it's not above here, it's not below, it's outside of time and space. And that's like the collective consciousness, the universal collective consciousness chakra.
If I turn off the lights, would that work, do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, thank you for bringing that up.
It's affecting me, really.
Yeah, it really does. That hertz, the 50 hertz frequency of the light, it really is artificial lighting. It can have a...
It's not going to be good for your video.
Oh.
That's alright. So, and now let's see if we can observe the effect of that. If we're feeling more, because I could feel it immediately as soon as the lights went off. So that's just
Yes, it's really.
that's daily practice of like seeing if an action like that, seeing how that affects the energy, and that's the process that we can use to become more sensitive. Another practice we can do to open up our extrasensory abilities is in a room of complete darkness, so blocking out every single window, every single source of light. If there's, say, lights on your router flashing, just making it as dark as possible, and then opening up your eyes in the complete darkness, and just start scanning objects. See if you can begin to perceive the object. See if you can perceive it with more clarity. That's a practice we can do to develop our seeing ability. So that's, and what I mean by seeing ability is with eyes open or closed, being able to perceive with the third eye, being able to perceive what's going on within your energy, what's going on within somebody else's frequency. Of course, there's different ways to do that. We can activate our sensitivity. We can, of course, eating healthy, eating clean, detoxifying of heavy metals, doing a heavy metal detox. That can have very profound effects on our ability to see, because you have all these poisons that are floating around in the body, all these particles from vaccination, there's heavy metals, and you just keep circulating around, and that can cloud the vision, that could anchor, it could be a physical anchor for lower frequencies. So of course, focusing on activating our multidimensionality by focusing on the body as a temple and clearing it on all levels, not just the energy, but physically as well. Another way to activate the third eye is through frequency. In some of those programs, like the Secret Space program, Super Soldier programs, And we actually have somebody here who's a speaker, James Rink from the Secret Space Program. He's doing several workshops, and he was also in LA. In those programs, they have specific ways of activating your abilities, your third eye, your multidimensional abilities. There's enhancements they can do physically by physically injecting, but a lot of it is really frequency. So this is a very simple technique. It's just having a tuning fork. Each chakra has a different frequency. So this one is tuned to the third eye frequency, which in this case, in the octave that it's using, is 221.23 hertz. So we can use that and put it on the third eye. Pass this around so you can try it. But you can focus, but without touching the skin, without placing it on the body. You can just sound it off like this, and that's a way of scanning the energy. So you can scan somebody's field just by doing that, and you can hear if there's any change in the frequency. You can just feel. So that's one way of scanning, is doing this with the tuning fork and scanning the body, seeing if you get stuck somewhere, if the tuning fork is being drawn to a certain area. You can do this with the bowls as well. Tibetan bowls work especially well for this. This is the crystal, quartz crystal. But this can help to highlight any frequencies in the body. So just by playing this outside of somebody's body, you're also scanning their energy. You can make it very apparent where there's a blockage or a negative energy just by scanning with either a Tibetan bowl, tuning fork, crystal bowl, or without any tools, just by using what we just described, that extrasensory perception. Let me pass these around. So this is and they're labeled, so this is the third eye tuning fork. You can just tap it with the hammer, and this is the crown chakra, and then placing it right in that little divot in the top of the head. That's where the center of the crown would be. Don't have any of the smaller hammers left, but you can pass these around and make sure everyone's had a chance to try each one. Let's see how we are. Okay, we have some more time. So we've covered the chakras. Each chakra is a portal. Each chakra leads to another dimension. It has its particular qualities. So if there's a blockage in that chakra, say in the solar plexus, that's the mental plane, it could be that you're becoming stuck in 3D, like you're focused on, just constantly, the rat race, or constantly running around.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to him, okay.
And so that's like a third chakra blockage, solar plexus blockage. A lot of times I see that as kind of like a sheath that's piercing through right around the solar plexus area, and that can be pulled out and sent back to source. So work with the chakras. You can see if there's a blockage in that chakra. You can confirm that there is a blockage if the person is experiencing the effects of a blockage in that chakra. So say a blockage in the crown area, that would be no connection to source, You're trying to connect, you want to communicate with your guides, but you just can't. So that usually means there's a blockage in the crown chakra. Blockage in the third eye could be you want to see what's going to happen to you, say at an event or in a future time, or if you're going to pass an exam, for example. And you can, if you have a blockage in your third eye chakra, you can't transcend and see that what's going to happen. Do you have another question?
I don't.
Okay. So let's work with the chakras. Each one has a different quality. The Reiki system describes the chakras 1 through 7. If you go on a source like ascensionglossary.com, they have a detailed description of all the other chakras, up to 15 chakra. And then there's other ones, there's minor chakras, there's up to 144 chakras, including like all different joints, different minor chakra energy centers all around the body. And those can all be activated by doing energy healing, by focusing on them. And the more we develop our light body, the more of those chakras, the more of those energy models become active and online as our DNA becomes activated. And as our DNA becomes activated, we start having vision, start hearing sounds. You can just be sitting in this room right here and start hearing this music. And what's happening is you're actually tuning into the angelic realm. So you're hearing this like beautiful, harmonious choir, this beautiful music, but it's not actually in this reality. It's from another dimension. So that's why it's important to have our chakras clear. So that way the energy that's around us can be perceived correctly, it's coming in correctly, and you're tuning into the truth and the true meaning of things, not a distortion or some type of agenda programming or a negative alien agenda. So you can use your, one thing is to always ask for downloads and DNA activations. So always ask for your DNA to be fully activated, to receive all downloads and upgrades to your energy body. That way you are constantly evolving, you're on this process of evolution, on the path of evolution and ascension, until eventually you're completely free. You can travel to any galaxy. You are free from the incarnation cycle, so that you're not stuck in a reincarnation loop, coming back and then going back out, coming back in. You have the choice of, okay, I want to incarnate on Earth, have this beautiful experience here, done. Then I would like to go to the Andromedan galaxy and have a beautiful incarnation there. So you do that, and as you do that, you have full recollection of all your multidimensional experiences, all of your abilities, all of your healing abilities, all of your memories that are stored within your DNA, because that's what most of that DNA that science calls junk DNA, that's actually memories of other lifetimes, other realities, hidden abilities, multidimensional abilities. And so we've created the sacred space, we covered that, we learned how to scan our energy, how to send a more directed, more specific healing energy, and so it's basically creating an intention, so setting a strong intention that you're a channel for divine healing energy, and then beaming that energy to a particular place based on the guidance, based on the scanning techniques that we described. So it's always about intention for the divine to come in and help. And that's in the beginning, that's very important because we may have a lot of programs of our own. So sometimes we need that little bit of help to be able to discern, to distinguish where the energies are coming from. The last step of healing is always creating a protection. So once we've gone through, cleared the whole field, the different layers of the energy field, we've gone into fine-tuned any aspects of us, any chakras that were malfunctioning, cleared any implants, cords, hooks. You can clear cords by swiping your hand. So if you're in a room that's full of people and there's a lot of push and pull of energy, you can just go like this and cut all cords. You can do that around the back as well. You don't have to use the hand, but it helps to visualize we're physical beings, so by doing that we're removing those cords and connections. So once we've done all this, cleared the energy, removed everything, activated all the chakras, we set up a protection. My favorite protection is the one we did towards the beginning, is creating the Merkaba. So everyone here knows the Merkaba structure, right? It's the two pyramids, one facing up, and then one pyramid facing down, and they're spinning. The top pyramid is spinning to the right for the masculine energy, and the bottom pyramid is spinning to the left for the feminine energy. Let's see if there's a picture here. And so by visualizing these two frequencies, it begins to bounce negative energies or lower energies away from your field. So anytime I do this, and you can do this right now, visualize the light body and visualize how when you create that spinning Merkaba, anything that isn't there, that is there that shouldn't be there, is just leaving the body. And then you can surround that Merkaba structure, which looks like this. Yeah, that is a little bit slow here, but visualizing, usually it's portrayed in gold, but it can be all the different colors of the rainbow. Visualizing that surrounding the whole body, and it just bounces off energies, lower frequencies. And then you can surround this with white light, and you can do several layers of white light. You can do white light and then golden light, and then say like a light blue or violet energy. Usually violet, white, and gold, yellow, those are some of the most common, the most powerful healing frequencies. The white light contains all the combination of all the frequencies. Golden, there's many different orders and realms where it's all golden healing reality. So everything is made out of gold. Some of you may have had dreams of those realities where it's everything is golden. There's golden, there's emerald as well. There's the emerald order, and there's the amethyst order. So those are some of the foundational realities, and from there we receive different colors, technologies, teachings, mystery schools, even different races of beings who created you, participated into your DNA creation. So those are some ways to protect our field: the spinning Merkaba, the spheres of white light. There's one that's interesting. This is a more advanced protection, but it's a pyramid of violet energy, which is then enclosed by one pyramid facing up and one pyramid facing down, base to base this time, not intersecting with the Merkaba. So you're covering yourself in the violet purple pyramid, and then this diamond shape encapsulates the first pyramid. And then there's another pyramid. You do this 3 times. You encapsulate the second pyramid with another diamond shape, and then each one larger and larger than the first. And then we encapsulate the third one with 3 spheres of violet energy, followed by 3 spheres of silver energy and 3 spheres of golden energy. And then we set up a cloaking protection layer. This one is sometimes portrayed as a black energy, but that doesn't mean that that's, there's this false perception that darkness or black is like something negative when it comes to the colors, the beings, the entities. But that's simply not true. It's just the color, it's just an different frequency band. And usually black creates, it's kind of like a void, so like a void space, so it draws energy in, but it can also block out, so you can't be seen. And actually in my experience that I described earlier, somebody was basically able to perceive my energy, the energy work I was doing on them from a distance. She said a lot of the energy I was sending her was yellow, orange, but it had a layer of black around it, and that was for protection, so it can't be traced, it can't be monitored, because a lot of the government psychics, those who do remote viewing, they're able to. There's a protection that's mirrors, creating mirrors around your body or covering yourself in the mirror-like substance. But there's government psychics who are trained to seek that protection out. So creating that extra cloaking layer of black energy that can help to hide you from. Those are 3 different protection methods. There's many different ones. That's what I love about healing, is each of us has that innate ability to be a channel, to perceive the energy, and each one of us comes from a different place. So we have different gifts that we can manifest. So if you're feeling like drawing like a different type of shape, a sphere, a cylinder, it could be a Merkaba, a triangle. It could just be a structure that doesn't even exist. Consciously, we can't perceive it. There's an infinite array of ways to do protections, healings. So that's why I speak of the integrative healing model, because I think that just one is not enough. There's the physical aspect, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, and it goes to infinity of how many things we can focus on. So there's an infinite array of possibilities for healing, for wellness, for manifestation, and I feel that it's our birthright to experience all of them, or pick and choose which one that we would like to experience. And any type of lockdown of that, anything that prevents us from experiencing that desired reality of being healthy, of feeling good at all times, that's already a blockage. It could be something that needs to be healed internally, a wound from a past life. It could be an external interference. It could be from somebody else's energy, and then we just have to very strongly pull back our energy, say what's mine is mine, what's yours is yours, send them back their energy. You can visualize the streams of energy going from one place, from them to you, and from you to them. And
Well, I just was contemplating what you were saying about the mirror magic and using that as a cloaking. It's funny, well, I was told that the CIA sometimes gives information to Hollywood movie makers to make movies. There was a Doctor Strange movie and they were using mirrors and they like cracked this mirror and went into it and hid there so that Doctor Strange could like learn his abilities without anybody from the outside attacking him. And they made it like a different world inside that mirror. Then I was watching on the internet and they have this actor named Terrence Howard, and I watched different videos of him, and the first one he had on this crazy wig and he was talking to somebody and he said, well, I was in front of a mirror and then I kind of just saw my aura and then I kind of relaxed and then these hands came out of the mirror and then I felt just getting, into this vibe of, and then now he's got these several videos talking about basically existential things and how matter's created out of this and that, and different elements are not this and different elements are not that, and people are thinking that he's really out there. But I'm wondering if maybe, since you're saying the mirror magic can be dark, that maybe an entity came into him and now he has all this knowledge and he's giving out all this knowledge not as an actor but because of the entity that is inside of him. What do you think of that?
absolutely, that's 100% a possibility. And Hollywood, a lot of Hollywood is a lot of the movies that we see, they are disclosure. It can be partial disclosure or manipulated disclosure, and that's kind of the controller's way. The ones who are in control of these, in the physical, say like the 13 families, the Illuminati, all those, the royals, bloodlines. They basically, to avoid karma, they have to disclose information, everything that they're doing to us, every way in which they're locking us down. So one way of doing that is through movies, and it's perfect for them is because they tell, through those movies, they tell us the truth, but they make it science fiction, so it's all imagination. So we're being told the truth, but it's a movie, so it's not real. So that's why we have to use discernment and know, okay, like in, let's say there was this movie called Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets, and it's such a, there's so much disclosure in that movie. Like, you can put on, there's a scene in the movie where there's a desert and absolutely nothing in the desert, and you put on these goggles, and then you see all these, now it's an entire city, and there's all these beings walking around, and there's all these things happening, and that's kind of how this reality is. Like, the dimensions are all here. We just need to tune our perception to that. But yeah, it's totally possible. It could be a dark entity seeking to control through that movie or through that actor, so they're infusing information through them. That's why you have to be very careful with channeled information, because when you're a channel, you can channel a lot of things. So just the slightest interference that sneaks through, it can completely change the entire meaning, the entire frequency of the teaching. So it's always a process of discernment. My way is asking the heart center, so bringing the consciousness down into the heart, and just by tapping, or you can just focus the consciousness on the heart, or focus on the heart center, and ask your heart a question, whether this information is true or false. Usually yes or no questions work best because it's then you can train yourself to how to discern the impulse that you're receiving. You say a yes is like a warming sensation, or it's like an impulse that just says yes, or it's like speaks the word yes, like you see it printed in your mind, you can hear it, you can feel it. And no would be like a repulsion, like no, or seeing. You could see the word no, you just have that feeling of no. It's kind of a game of like training yourself, training your responses of yes and no from the heart center, and then you can ask questions as you're listening to somebody if what they're saying is correct.
You know, you mentioned how you were jolted into seeing, I'll use the word matrix, right? Just because we did. Recently, in the last few weeks, I was in my parking lot. I'm living in an apartment building. It's at 6 levels. And I went to go to my car, and I tripped. First, I tripped over a little bump, and I noticed a person. And I got to my car, and on board of the car, I basically just kept going round and round and round without being able to go lower. And this just went on and on. And I lost something like 14 minutes of time in my process. And I was aware that something was wrong, so that I'm going counterclockwise. That's the only way to get down. And then what I did was I broke the cycle by going to the very end instead of the prep. And now I got myself out of the loop, but it was like the endless round. I was in some other tangential reality, and the only person I saw was the first person. I didn't see anybody, no other cars, and a very busy time. So it was, and then the next day, I went and tested my whole, it takes 4 minutes to get out of the building, with two cars trying to park and, interfering with my ability to go down. So there was a real loss of a big window of time. And this crazy situation I just couldn't get out, So it was a gift, right? Because I saw it as a gift. And that it was almost like there was a glitch, and I experienced the glitch.
And it's stuff like that that really makes you, it's like confirmation after confirmation.
Yes.
And we can ask for further confirmation. So you can always ask to be shown for mystical experiences to happen to you.
Yeah.
And then just by going about your day, you receive a phone call, and then they tell you something that you heard in your head like the night before, and it's like, oh wow, like I totally saw that. Tuning into a future moment or into the quantum, so you communicating telepathically with them through the quantum, and then receive the confirmation in the physical when they ask you that. It's really beautiful. These are the moments that I live for, and I would like for everyone to experience everything as magical. This is a magical reality, and it is exactly what you would like it to be. And the more we consciously manifest, the more you make it that way.
I've had precognitive dreams where I've met people and then met them in real time, but it's only because obviously in the dream state there is no time. So we're in fourth, fifth dimension, and so time is inconsequential. So the interesting thing is really to meet a grandchild in the dream realm and then meet them in person. However many months later, a year later, and to recognize the child,
Yes, I do. So this one, they started appearing. I kept, whenever I would do healing, they kept having me do this, and I would always do this, and it kind of didn't make much sense to me. But then I was being told that it was portal. So this opens up a portal through which the Arcturian beings can come in and do psychic surgery. And then when I first encountered a picture or a depiction of an Arcturian being, it was doing exactly that symbol. And I saw that many times afterwards. So that was my confirmation that this is the. And I feel like this symbol has been hijacked, because you see a lot of like the Illuminati doing this, but that's the hijacking. The swastika was never just the sun symbol, it's not something that is meant to be used for destruction or control. And many of the symbols, much of our language has been manipulated. Like if you sign a contract, like the first syllable of that is con. It's like, what am I getting conned into? Like why? Just certain. We have to wrap up. But yeah, certain things are. Certain things are snuck in to manipulate and twist and distort our reality. But that's why discernment is so important. And actually, I feel that the Arcturians have a message for you, and it's also for the whole group. And it's in the form of light language. It's activations that was channeled through in the form of light language. And that's also drawing symbols as well as speaking. Tarashukunu kumukuyataya karukuyishaka takayana turun tayaka. Ukuyanati ishtukuyanataka ikukunyatamaka. Ishtakanataya muku karanashi karayata ikurinataya shataya ukunukiyanata. Ukishaka muku itaranata ushukiyanata tara ishtukunukia ikaranata shtukuyanata. Yanasha ukumukuyanata ukiranata shatayaparanata ushakayanata. That was a light body activation. And I will be doing a talk specifically on that later on. But I can do. Does anyone want a copy of that talk?
Yes.
Again, light body activation. These are for this. This is the DNA definitely. Oh, it's 4/8. And I am also doing individual healing. I haven't set up my booth yet, but hopefully I get a chance to do that. I'm gonna go right after here, doing individual healing and massage.
He was.
Oh, no.
What is your
This was the session when we came in at the end of it. I thought he was going to be doing Jessica.
two had gone to that one. Yeah, because I guess two of the books out of it. Trying to read, but I thought it might happen. One of them was about earth interiors, about communication with trees and that kind of stuff. I already communicated with trees. Remember when we did the thing with animals,
Yeah, Joe.
rainfall? Because I remember driving through McDonald's right after the thing. And there's a bush right there, and we stopped and I said to the bush, "Oh, look at that pretty leaf going on here." And the bush said, "I don't like ladies, they eat me."
You know what? I had a lace
It's
back
really
then.
weird.
I
That one bite me.
had one bite me too, and it was like, holy smokes, and it hurt.
All through my childhood, there was this lady that come by there, and it bit me, like, surprised I did too.
Yeah, it was a big, yeah.
I don't know what it was
I
trying to
can
tell
see the
me.
picture.
It's like,
It's
be
a
careful,
male.
what you know, or whatever.
Yeah, but I had a kind of spray right there.
Yeah, mine was something else.
I was like,
Because I was
look at that sweet little butterfly coming in, like, I was like,
I think it's a message to people.
I think it was a man.
Idea of anything.
Yes, it was a man.
Yeah, then I can see.
Even though we thought
Different
that was
feelings, because each one is based on the real story that you.
So now, I
It's,
have my
so
little, my tree little tree.
your experiences and your realizations and understandings at the time, although everything is happening, you describe, they're infused with codes and information and the teaching and the lesson on the soul level. So by reading it, you'll be tuning into not just information, not just the story, but also into the multidimensional codes that are activating the DNA and bringing about their memories, their masterhood
This,
teaching.
in the year that I actually go out and touch and talk.
I remember I did that one year when I had a bunch of dreams. And they were dreams. And I had them for years and years and years. And I was like,
This is some years I stopped doing it. They had this beautiful tree and a branch broke off and she gave me the branch and I planted it into a tree. I actually had, and then there were two of them and I kept bringing them in the house every year. And eventually, because they got too big, I couldn't do it. Because last year I tipped it over and one of the branches broke off and another tree started. But I gave it to my daughter. She didn't take it in. I have a hearing thing I put on there. Anyway, she's three. Oh, this is a right room. Yeah, she's up there.
It's like, you said that a sense of kind of like emerging, it's like a convergence point of many different existences, realities that you're in, and they're all, it's like full circle, it's like an encapsulating,
I know, it's like, we sat in front and we were like, nothing was happening. No, he was just sitting, he wasn't done. So, well, maybe we came in because we needed that special.
lesson.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was something else. Was like, what?
You know, the secretary, second spirit.
That's not a system. Is that a brain or something? System. I think that brain's
can set up the group and then we can, if you'd like to come by, we can do something more. You know, I can do
So understand or receive Thank you.
So we create vibration.
Oops.
So that's why we think we use the panel and we create
I was kind of waiting for you guys when you walked in.
Yeah, I came over to apologize. Oh, that's okay. Angel and I are brothers and sisters in the light. We work
That's what we
together.
felt like, your presence.
We apologize. We thought you were waiting on Jessica for the next one. We didn't realize.
Oh, yeah, that's her. That's the most young. Just
So I apologize for being there. I don't, but it's like a social thing. They even do like.
codes, like certain
I want to find space.
just
Well,
for
we
you.
appreciate it. And it's an actual signature, and I want to be everyone's election. Right now, you're again military now. That's what I'm saying. I know, I'm not the first
I'm doing another one at 5 o'clock.
You were doing
It's on DNA and my body.
Well, first session? Yeah. So, oh, and these are yours. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The sound one?
He
had
has
the
read
songs.
it.
And this was done already.
Yeah.
Well, we're doing, oh, you're talking about the other sound one?
Yeah.
We're here, that's the other one, yeah. Yeah, they're talking about bowls.
Yeah, we're gonna start now. Have a seat. We're gonna bring everybody in now. Jeez, how did we miss this? We were having lunch. Oh, well, okay. Yeah, I'm thinking.
I'm learning more about it to get into scientific a little bit myself. So.
Yeah, I have I'll be setting up my booth out there, so I'll be doing a lot more of this, like healings, massage, and
I think the Auditorians